Welcome to the Bottle Poppin' Podcast, where Meg and Heather share their love for oils, friendship, and entrepreneurship. Let's get it poppin'.
Hey everyone, this is Meg.
Hi there, this is Heather.
And we are the Bottle Poppin' Podcast. So Heather, what are we popping open today?
Today we are popping open a bottle of Cypress, and I really like this oil. This is the oil of motion and flow, and just in the few minutes that I've been sitting here smelling it, I feel a little bit more flowy. I feel like this feels good this morning.
Nice. Yeah, I forget that I like this one, but I like the smell of this one as well. And ironically, I use it for flow of internal liquids. So specifically
circulation is what I use this for. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, specifically blood, but it does help with urinary issues as well, which is cool. But
I would encourage you to try this one in the palms of your hand. And the reason I say that is because it smells very different in the bottle than it does in my palm, which I had put it on a few minutes ago. It's much softer in my palm. It is very kind of herbaceous tree smell, but from the bottle, it's a lot sharper smelling than it is from my hands.
I agree. That's so interesting.
Mm-hmm. When it's cupped in my hands, it smells a lot more like the spa setting, which is how this one is used a lot. And it's very rainy day in my mind. I don't know. Do you get that kind of rainy day tree smell?
I totally do. I feel like there is some YouTube channel that has music and then it's just a rainy day video on the background. This is the smell that goes with that YouTube channel.
Yes. So whenever Scent-O-Vision is created, Cypress for that.
Maybe it will come out for podcast too, so that you guys can all smell the oil. That would be so awesome. Let's upgrade the podcast to do that.
Yes.
Get right on that.
So for circulation, how do you tend to use this one in that way?
So a little backstory. I've mentioned before that I have a spine disease, and thankfully, it sounds super scary, and it definitely was scary. Ironically, I know Heather because of my spine disease. So whenever I was diagnosed, I was sent to physical therapy, and that's how we met and became friends, which is kind of awesome. So there's a reason for everything.
Yes.
But the way that I found out I had it was the right side of my body kept on falling asleep. Like I would just be sitting at my desk at work and all of a sudden the right side would fall asleep. And it was like, what is going on? This is super scary. So I feel like I'm super sensitive to anything going off with my circulation, and maybe overly precautious. But these days, thankfully, the right side of my body has not fallen asleep since Heather fixed me. There's some other components to it too. But I do every now and then when I sleep, I think it's because I sleep on my side and then I cut off circulation and then it wakes me up and it just kind of freaks me out because, everything is scary in the middle of the night.
Yes.
And so I kind of go through phases where that happens more often. And in those phases, I will, right before bed, I will massage this into like my shoulders and down my arms just to like help and hopefully avoid the scary moment where I wake up and then I can't move part of my body.
Yes. This one is in the Aromatouch blend, which makes sense because that's kind of the massage blend, so that circulation part, and I think that's a really good use for it. If I'm using it for that type of circulation, for muscle, I tend to use Aromatouch more, but I have used this one right then too. How I tend to use this one the most for circulation is actually under the eyes. I saw one of the doTERRA founders, Emily Wright, do this on a reel at some point where she has a very specific facial routine and has lots of different things that she uses, but she travels a lot. And so, she'll get the bags under her eyes and she will put Cypress underneath there. And then she's got gua sha. Is that how you say it? Gua sha stone that she uses to just kind of pull that out. And she did one side of her face and left the other side. And it was so drastic. I was like, hello, Cypress. So yes, if I can take the few minutes to do that, I feel like it makes a huge difference.
Yeah. And it's funny because I think there's certain oils, if you were to dab it under your eyes, it would probably make your eyes water because oils are so strong smelling. But this one really is a gentler scent as well. And yeah, that's really cool. Have you noticed the difference? Like, have you ever tried this side by side?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Particularly with the gua sha stone, using that gua sha stone and being able to pull it out, I think it makes a huge difference. But yes, I definitely have seen a difference in real time from doing it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely have gone through phases where I use gua sha a lot, but I do always use it with oils just because I always put oils on my face anyways, and then
Yeah.
it just makes sense to spread it out. But I have noticed when I am really consistent, oftentimes people will come up to me and be like, "Have you lost weight?" And it really is just moving, like activating your lymph system in your face and moving things around. And so, yeah, I'm a fan of gua sha. I don't do it as often, but my new thing that I'm into is I have a face brush. And ironically, this was also inspired by Emily Wright. Again, she did some random reel on Instagram with her whole morning routine, face routine, and she would like dry brush her face with this special brush. I think before applying oils, I don't remember for sure, but my sister got me the brush for Christmas, and then I watched a YouTube video that said to like put all of your lotions and potions and therefore essential oils as well afterwards. And it's a really nice way to start the day and super relaxing, and it definitely is making my skin softer. I was telling Heather beforehand, I feel like my face has felt soft for a long time because of the oils I use daily, but my neck not so much. And just in the 2 months that I've been doing this face brushing, I can tell my neck is getting softer now too, which is super cool.
Out of curiosity, when you're doing the gua sha, do you not pull it down the edges of your neck? Because I do that. I kind of follow that lymph drainage thing.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I was not doing this with gua sha, but I should have. So with the brushing or the gua sha, with anything with lymph, you actually always want to start with your collarbone. So your collarbone has I think it's the biggest concentration of lymph nodes. And if you don't open that up, then stuff will pool. And so with the brush, I'm super intentional to brush my collarbone before I do everything else. But I don't think I ever did that with the gua sha, which is interesting. And so I don't know if I'm sure that is making a difference, because otherwise stuff can get pulled in that area and then not go everywhere else. So, yeah.
Well, and in regard to just general dry brushing, I have used Cypress for that as well, either just putting it on the bristles and then dry brushing, or putting it on my skin with like coconut oil and then dry brushing. You said you do the oil stuff after you kind of open up the pores and then do it. I've just kind of done it at the same time. But yes,
Yeah.
circulation I absolutely love for this oil. Really the only two ways that you can use this is either topically, like we've been talking about, or aromatically. And so aromatically, this smells really good in the diffuser too, because again, it kind of smells like a rainy forest, but I really like it with any sort of citrus oil. And I found a fun diffuser blend called Go With The Flow, and it's 3 drops of cypress, 2 drops of bergamot, and 1 drop of frankincense. And that just sounds like that would just be really relaxing.
Yeah, that might have to be the diffuser blend today. So you said it's frankincense, bergamot, and cypress, right?
Yep, 3, 2, 1. So cypress first, bergamot, and then frankincense.
Okay, awesome. I'm doing that today. Do you want to share the emotional benefits? I know you kind of touched on it earlier.
Yeah, so it is the oil of motion and flow, and it just talks about that it works with the heart and mind in creating flexibility. It encourages individuals to cast aside their worries and let go of control so they can enjoy the thrill that comes from being alive.
Yeah, beautiful. So, and this is kind of good timing as well. I figure we can share this with the broader audience, not just Heather and my conversations, but we are considering changing up the show and doing some things a little bit differently. And because of that, we really would love to hear from those of you who listen on a regular basis, or I guess just even recently stumbled across us. If you have feedback, we would so appreciate it, because sometimes it feels like we are just talking to the interwebs and who knows who's listening or who's not listening. But if you have feedback, things that you like, things that you wish we would include, we really would appreciate it. Ironically, the feedback that we've gotten before is people want us to get more specific about the health benefits. And so I will just mention that we are limited in that. And that's why we always recommend getting a good reference book, because they're just things we can't say online. But any other feedback, recommendations, things we could change, things that this would serve you better, we would really appreciate hearing from you. So you can reach out to us on our social media sites. You could even reach out to us, I think, on our website, there's a link to email us. So just bottlepopandpodcast.com, and you can email us there. So thank you for that. Thank you in advance for giving us feedback. All right, Heather, anything else on cypress oil?
It's a good oil to have. If you don't have it already, I think that you would enjoy it for multiple reasons.
Yeah, totally agree. All right, thanks so much for listening. We appreciate you, and we'll have a new episode for you next week.
Thanks for tuning in. For more information, you can follow these bottle poppin' ladies at bottlepoppinpodcast.com. Tune in next week to learn about what bottle we're poppin'. Until next time, take care. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This podcast is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.